Hey guys, are you looking for a way to add multiple items into your shopping cart? Do you have reasons why you'd want to send your users a complete shopping cart of multiple items to complete one order? Well, today I've got something for you. We're going to go ahead and use the Amazon API along with your access key and your Amazon tag to show you how you can actually bulk load items into someone's shopping cart. This will allow you to get the 90-day cookie on those specific items and allow you to build a cart full of items, similar to if somebody was to order a whole desktop PC and they would need multiple components to complete the order. This way, you would get credit for all those parts, even if they left to go read further reviews on other sites, as the 90-day cookie would trump the 24-hour cookie in this case. So what you see here on screen is the example that I'm going with, which is basically to simulate if somebody was buying some kind of full desktop replacement and you have packages of equipment that you would like for them to get to complete the whole thing at once. Whereas before you would sit there and give them individual items and they'd have to make sure they pick and choose the right thing, since memory can be so tied to the motherboard along with what graphics card or hard drive. This way you can kind of pre-package all of this together along with the quantity they need and give them a complete system all at once. And with um, how Amazon does things, basically when you do this version with add to cart, it will give you a 90-day cookie on those specific items. So if from the day they click and add it to their cart until 3 months from now they decide to buy that exact equipment, then you'll get credited with the sale. The single downfall to the 90-day cookie is that it doesn't apply to anything else they might buy when they visit the store. So you wouldn't pick up a miscellaneous item for cooking or baking or, tires or, some other gear. But for specific uses, when you have a package of gear that all probably needs to be together to be efficient and effective, and people are looking at how to build an entire thing, or if you wanted to give them a different set of options, composited together specific mix and match of gear, then this way you can give yourself a chance at a larger payout down the road on expensive equipment. Because if you look at these things, when you have a motherboard that's $200, the odds that it's just an impulse buy is pretty low. But if you had it add to cart and they add it to their cart, even if they go talk to and look at a whole bunch of other review sites who are doing the 24-hour cookie, the 90-day cookie wins out over those. But again, you are limiting yourself to a specific item. So you have to kind of play the two against each other as to what works best in your use case. So how do we use this? So there's two parts that go into how this works. The first is that you have to have the API access. The only way to do add to cart is to have API access. So if you haven't applied for the API, or you haven't gotten your sales where you could actually get to making an API key, then work on getting your sales first. But for those who actually have the API key, it's basically just tying in a whole bunch of specific data out of their side, which is the ASIN and the quantity they want to buy, and then providing the store associated, like the Amazon tag you want to get credit for it, and your access key that basically is the way into the Amazon API. So when you go look, so now that you understand that, let's go ahead and jump over to the spreadsheet real quick. What you'll see on the spreadsheet is, I'll make sure it's shared and available for everybody, but inside here I built a quick and easy one that would allow for up to 3 ASINs and 3 quantities. So you would just fill in your access key, you fill in your Amazon tag, you fill in the ASIN for your first item, the quantity, the ASIN for the second one, and the quantity, ASIN on the third, and the quantity. And then I built a auto builder for this that you'll just be able to copy and paste out this builder URL to use on your site, which will bring you to this page and give you the ability to put them all here. So once they get to this screen, so I'll make sure to add this as a link in the description. So as long as you go into the description, you'll be able to get access to this. And as with all Google Sheets, you can't edit it. You'll have to go to File and make a copy, which will then move it into your Google Sheets account as a copy that you can edit as much as you need to. If people would like in the comments that they need far more than 3 items, then I will update this sheet. I just didn't want it to go too crazy, because then you got to start doing some overall building inside here, looking for if this is blank or if this is blank as to where to stop. So over on this page, when you get this link, so when you copy this link, you'll come over here and you paste it in. It's going to bring you to this page. The 90-day cookie does not start until they actually add to the cart. So when they add to cart, you'll actually see this went straight into the shopping cart. Now all 3 are in here to get them up and running as fast as you can. So from here, if they chose to delete these out and then come back to them again, then you would get credit for those. So if they came back here later and they were like, oh, I actually do want this, and they added to cart, now when they check out, you'll get credit still. You can use this, but it is one of those things you have to kind of understand the use case and what you're trying to provide them for ease. Things like a computer is probably a good thing for a whole gaming, desktop setup, or a whole standing desktop setup with everything you need for it to functionally work well for you. So think about your use case, because the use case will dictate whether or not you want to go this way. For many people, if they're a one-off item, then maybe the one-off works better. Or if it's like my previous video where you send them multiple items inside a store view, that maybe just showing them 4 items in the previous video is a better way to present the data you need, because they only want to pick one specific item. If I was going to present this to a person, it would be specific to a purpose. I'm looking at providing them a whole basket of items that will complete what they expect out of my page. If I was talking about how I've got this cool new fully built YouTube system, that all of these parts are what you need to build it from scratch, then I would want to link them to all of them and have them add them to cart, because immediately I have a chance at 90 days from now them buying the gear, even if it's expensive. And most of the time, I would state you're gonna have to find within your niche what is expensive. Inside PCs, 194 isn't actually probably insane. I've spent more on smaller things than a case before. But if this was a $400 motherboard, and they're gonna want to go read more about the one that you provided them, but your cookie is gonna be the last. You're going to be the first one to have gotten a cookie, but the next person they go to, when they click on their link, it replaces your link with theirs, which means you lose that sale. If you made this a 90-day cookie and they added it to their cart, they can keep reading until the end of time. When they decide to buy it, as long as it's within 90 days, you're going to make the profit from it. So that's the 90-day cookie, and that's how you can utilize a spreadsheet or a URL to actually send in specifically what they want to buy and provide a quantity so that they can get exactly what you need them to get. All right, for some people they're going to say, but you said there was 2 here. All right, for those who noticed, what happened here is you see that I said there's a quantity of 2 for the RAM. And when you go to this page, you see there's a quantity of 2 for the RAM itself. But when you add to cart, you end up with just 1. Well, for this actual specific item, the one that I picked, oddly enough, the seller actually has put a limit that you can't buy as many as you want. So you can't get 2, you can only get 1. So basically, my 2 in this case got changed back to a 1 because that's all they'll allow to be bought at a time. So, just so you guys, if somebody saw that and thought it was weird, it's not that it's weird, it's just depending on some of the sellers and what they have for volume, they do have the ability to limit what you can add. I haven't seen it much. I think this is the first one I've seen in months that has that message itself. So soon I'll be back and probably live stream a little bit more, and we can do some fun stuff like keyword research and maybe go through some actual live building of stuff, just because I'd like to change up the pace. It's easier to find 30 minutes to do a live sometimes than it is to find the time to cut and edit together something. And I'm far more relaxed just chatting and having some fun. Hopefully this will help people out. I really hope that you can find a good and unique use for this. Again, I'll make sure that the spreadsheet is actually in the description, so that way you can have access to it.